Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been 6 whole months since we moved to Canada, and today I'm going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So stay tuned. If you're new here, my name is Tatenda, also known as Tata, and this is my channel Tata Living. 6 months ago, I moved to Canada with my 3-month-old and my husband. And on this channel, I just try to show the reality of new immigrants living in Canada from, of course, my point of view. So, if that interests you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and of course, that's how I grow as a channel. Let's get right into it. On number one, when it comes to the good, is the accessibility of the immigration programs in Canada. I came as a permanent resident using the express entry for skilled workers, but there are different and many programs that one can use to come here. There are provincial nominees, there are categories for health professionals, for French speaking people, for trade workers, and for caregivers. I think with Alberta just opened a tourism and hospitality stream. So honestly, no matter what your field of expertise is, there is always a way you can migrate here. There's the study visa, there's the visit visa. Okay, that's not for migrating, but if you know, you know. I'm not going to get more into that. But honestly, if you want to come, anyhow you want to come, legally, of course, there's always a way. So that's the good part. Number two on the good list is how Canada is multicultural and is very diverse in terms of the people that are here. Honestly, I was surprised when I went to a registry, which is like a government office, and I saw that all the employees there were what I would call maybe immigrants. They did not look like they were, I know that everybody here in Canada is basically an immigrant, as they are First Nations who were here before us. But I mean, like, what? Okay. Yeah. There are people from a myriad of countries. I'm from Zimbabwe. If I haven't mentioned before, I've met people from like almost everywhere in the world. I'm kidding, but like that's how it feels. Like everywhere you look, there is an immigrant. There is somebody who is different from you. There's somebody from this people you can learn from. There's people you can interact with from everywhere, and I was even more shocked when I entered one of the government offices, like a registry, and everybody who was there was an immigrant. And I know one can say that all of us are immigrants except the First Nations, and they're right. But like, yeah, I guess I'm not really. I hope I'm making sense. I'm even learning French by, by association, because everything is written in English and French. Like, I'm not exactly going about trying to learn French, but I know what sauté is now, and that's a good thing. Number three is that Canada is a very beautiful country. I'm not gonna lie. Like everywhere I see beauty. I live in Alberta, and the Banff National Park is just in our backyard. I'm kidding, but like, there are all these beautiful places in Alberta. I'm still yet to explore them, but from what I've seen so far, even in the city, it's beautiful. And I've also been to British Columbia, and we did a tour of Vancouver City and also a little bit outside of the city. And let me tell you, the place is beautiful, and I'm looking forward to visiting more places in the country. And just beautiful. Yeah. The fourth thing on the good list is how accessible it is here with a stroller. As you know, I have a baby, and she's like my handbag. I go everywhere with her. So having to worry about how I'm going to move around with her, how I'm going to, if I will be able to get into some buildings with a stroller has not been my portion here. I just love how everything, even the toilets, they have made them in such a way that you can bring your baby into a family room. The changing stations in there, and I just love that. Like, it's one less thing to worry about as a mom with a little one. Another thing that is on the good list here is the freedom of expression. People have the freedom to any kind of religion they want, the freedom to protest. There's a protest every Sunday going on in relation to the Palestinians. Like, everybody has the right to participation, the right to strike, to be who you want, and the freedom to express your identity without any, I wouldn't want to say without any consequence, but without the consequences being detrimental to your safety and well-being. Where I come from, certain groups of people can't express themselves freely without having to face persecutions and to face even death. So coming to a place where somebody can fully be who they want to be without those repercussions is something that I view as a positive part of staying in Canada. Why do I sound like I'm reading the news, guys? I need to relax. I need to relax. I need to relax. Another one on the good list is free and universal healthcare in Canada, which means that your healthcare needs are basically free, and this includes like when you visit the doctors, your checkups, I've been referred to a nutritionist. This is also free. My husband has had his an eye injection because he had bleeders in one of his eyes, which was basically free. The only thing is the supplies and the prescription medicines are not free here in Canada. I know people like to talk and say everything is free, but I'm here to give it as it is. Your supplies, your prescription medicines are not free, but everything else, your checkups and stuff, they are free. So I mean, coming from a place where you had to pay for everything, I think it's I think it's a win. We can talk about the bad parts about it later. But for now, it's on the good list. List but not last on the good list, we have Canada's government services. I'm talking about CCB. CCB, do you hear me? Canada Child Benefits. My child receives some amount of money from the government of Canada. From the date that she arrives, she receives a check every month to cater for her well-being. She also receives money from like a climate change thing. Honestly, I don't know. I don't understand fully, but she has climate change money. Guys, climate change money. Right? There's also childcare subsidies here. Like I just started calling around to see, when it comes to childcare, you have to be proactive and start looking for preschools before the preschool age starts so that you get on the waiting list for the schools that you want. So I just started calling around to just get the lay of the land and understand what it is they need. And they told me that if I qualify for subsidy, then I can be only paying $50 a month, as compared to 300 and something that I would pay if we didn't qualify for subsidy. So, and then there's also free primary schooling here. You don't have to pay for school fees for grade 1 to grade 8, grade 12. I don't know, man. But Yeah, preschool, primary school. All that on the good list. On the good list, sis or bro. Now I'm gonna go to the bad list. And hopefully I'm gonna start talking like somebody who is reading the news. I don't know, I'm feeling stiff. I think I haven't done sit down videos in a while, and I'm losing my mojo. I'm losing my mojo. Shake it out. Please comment shake it out right now in the comment section. Yeah. All right. Let me talk about the bad. The first one being the immigration process is long. It is long. God, if you are new here, I started applying for this thing in 2020 and only moved in 2023. It was long for me. Okay. There are people whose applications have been done and dusted in 3 months. There are people whose applications have taken 4 to 5 years. Yes, I understand that it's all about, there's no algorithm. It's all about whether, the lady luck is on your side or not. It's not even that, okay, there's like, you can start a process at the same time with someone today, and one of you is gonna have like a better timeline than the other. It just happens. There's nothing you can do. Once you submit your papers, it's a waiting game, a long waiting game. I've always said, people think that in the immigration process, the hard part is gathering the documents and submitting and doing the application. No, the hard part is the waiting. It is a waiting game through and through, and excruciating at that. So that's a bad part. I don't like another one on the bad list is how long the wait times in the emergency rooms are. When I mentioned the free healthcare, I did mention that it has the bad aspects. I've had people who have had their wrists broken waiting in the ER for 7 hours. Like, if your situation is not life threatening, you're looking at long wait hours. And I personally have not experienced it, but I am dreading having to go to emergency rooms whenever I feel sick, because I'm like, what if I die in that chair? I want to die in that chair. So yeah, there are walking clinics, of course, if your situation is not an emergency, but they do say that if your situation is emergent, hang up and call 911. And I'm like, okay. Another bad part that is mostly mentioned in regards to Canada is the weather. People talk about, the winters being brutal. What? When I came here, I thought I was surely going to die, because I am not a winter girly. I'm not a winter girly. Our temperatures, well, in Southern Africa, they're okay. They're good. When it's warm, it's warm. When it's cold, it's cold. But like, I don't like the extremes. I do well in warm weather. Like, I've stayed in India, that was hot. I've stayed in South Sudan, hot. And I do well in those weathers. My skin pops, my skin glows. Your fave is up, so bear with me. But when it comes to winter, my skin does not do well. For me to have this glow that you see now, I had to find a skincare routine. I don't do skincare routines. I'm not this kind of girl. I'm a wake up and go girl. Wash and go. All this wahala is not there. I don't know it. But honestly, I'm just going to say the winter is bad, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I didn't die. I mean, we're still in winter, but I didn't die. We went up to -40, but it wasn't like, I do realize that I'm a little bit privileged because I have not had to use public transport throughout winter, and we have underground parking at our place. So usually you just get out of the house into the heated parking, into your heated cars, onto heated seats, travel wherever you're going, get to the place where you're going and maybe be in the cold for the 2 to 5 minutes you're walking into wherever you're going. Once you're in any building, it's heated. And yeah, when you're walking in downtown, there's even those tunnels like up there where you can walk and you don't have to experience, pardon me, you don't have to experience the cold as it is. I do though know that there are people who have it harder than me, but since this is my review, I have not seen the harshness of it. Like, you can survive. I survived, so I'm sure you will too. Okay? Also, thanks to global warming, because of course the weather of yesteryears is not the same as now. So shout out to my guy. Another one on the bad list, and if you've been here long enough, you know I am very touchy about this one, is the having the zero support system. I came here with just my little family. We didn't have family here or friends here, and navigating this coming from like this whole full life where we had like for the 8 months before we came here, we're living in Addis Ababa, which with my husband's family nearby, and we had all this support going through our pregnancy journey, and just to uproot our lives from that to now here where it's just us three against the world was a little harsh. The good news is I'm starting to have all these little connections. I'm starting to go to mommy and baby classes. I'm starting to have mommy dates with other moms. I have a few friends who are moving over. So I am so sorry about this, but it is what it is. So on the bad list, we also have limited enjoyment. Honestly, there's no time for it here. That's one. 2, bars close at 3 a.m. There's no this thing that, you go and then you come back when the sun is almost starting to shine. It's not there here. Also, the drinks are pretty expensive in the club. And also, you're working. Like, most of the times, you like back at home, you meet with your friends every day for drinks. Some people do it. That has not been my experience here. Even trying to find time to align schedules with your friend is a lot. So there's really limited enjoyment in comparison to being at home. Another one on the bad list is the public transport system here. It leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, when they talk about the Western world, the developed countries and stuff, you think that there's some of these things will be beautiful. Maybe it is in Europe or whatever. But here in Canada, the buses, the trains, especially here in Alberta, the buses, the trains, they look really old and they're slow and they get disrupted by the weather. So, and in some of these places, a car is like a must. It's a necessity, because like during like when there was the harshest times in the winter, the train was delaying, the buses were delayed, and it's just, these are some of the things that I like. So yeah, if you're thinking about fast bullet trains, that's a reference to my Zimbabweans. If you think about bullet trains and spaghetti roads and all that, it's not there. It's not there here. So it's like just normal public transport. Of course, it's better than Zupco, but it's not all that. So all that, it could be better. Another one on the bad list is that the scammers are on the rise. Do you know how many times I get messages telling me, oh, your delivery is on the way, click this link, your delivery has been delayed. I don't know how they know which providers you actually have. They'll speak of the providers that you have. They'll talk about this company which you actually use, has sent you a refund. Who doesn't like money in this cost of living? And don't worry, don't think that I've forgotten about one. That one is on the ugly list, which we're about to touch right now. Let's talk about the ugly. What is this cost of living, guys? Like, I don't even know why banks have savings accounts anymore. Who is saving? With which money are we saving? The rent is high. The food, the bills. The bills. The heating, the electricity, the insurance, the groceries, fuel, Wi-Fi. Like guys, we need to share with us how you're living out there, because this cost of living crisis, it's not it. This is not it. Before, you could like use up some of your money and remain with something on the side. Nowadays, I am fighting from paycheck to paycheck. Like I am how are you surviving, guys? How are you doing it? Another one on the ugly list is this housing crisis that Canada finds itself in. There are too many people who have been unhoused over the past couple of years compared to before, and it's even worse, like considering that we are in like the peak of winter. This has now caused landlords to increase the rent on the available housing, so it's like it has become like a tough competition when it comes to getting apartments now and having to battle it out with somebody with more money. It's just a mess, and it's very ugly because it has cost people their lives. We are seeing many unhoused people, and one wonders how they will survive this harsh winter conditions. That number 3 on the ugly list: tax. Ugly tax. Income tax, service tax, plastic tax, bottle tax, all kinds of tax that I've never had before. And it's very ugly. Okay? I digress. What does that mean? I always hear many vloggers these days saying, I digress. What does that mean? I'm going to sprinkle it here. I digress. Okay. And the last one on my ugly list is finding employment. This one is a difficult one because one comes here with all their hopes and dreams in a suitcase, but when they get here, finding employment that same level that they were or better is very difficult. I mean, we didn't have jobs in our countries because then we come here, we pack everything we have and come here, and the situation is still the same. That is flabbergasting. It is flabbergasting and disgusting. Okay? And so it sucks and it's ugly. You have to, humble yourself and start afresh, get a little bit of survival jobs and try to go back to school and then start climbing the ladder slowly. It is well if you're open-minded, but if you're not, it has been the cause for many people to leave the country. On the more personal side, do I think it's worth it? Yes. And maybe no. Okay? I have days where I love it here because I love how everything is not a hassle. I do not have to fight for basic things like electricity and water and blah 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 and Wi-Fi and calling the Wi-Fi people 100 times telling them to fix their speeds or whatever. No, right? But there are times where I miss the support system of home. There are times where I miss, you know, the life back at home. Will I go back? Will I pack my things and relocate? For now, no. I also think that it depends where you come from. I come from Zimbabwe. Enough said. We have our currency problems. Our roads are a mess. We do not have proper healthcare system, ambulances. We do not have, like, getting a passport used to be so hard, but now it's better, I think. We have rich tax now. It takes the rich now. It's the rich thing. Tariffs just come. You just wake up and Econet will tell you that they're increasing their tariffs. There are people who are busy gifting celebrities or public figures cars without proper roads. The chiefs were given cars this morning for their dignity, but what about the dignity of the sick people who do not have ambulances? All that makes me want to stay here. But if I was from a better country, I wouldn't have to move now, would I? I would have stayed at home. I would have. But my home, that world is not my home. This world is also not my... This world is not my home. What am I doing? This video is a mess. But I've come to the end of it, guys. I'm just gonna say, I've tried to record this video so many times today. At first, I started out looking like a reporter, and then it ended with me just being comical. I'm not sure what's going on, but I need to film, edit, and post this video today. So it's gonna go as it is. This is me, guys. This is me. But yeah, that is my review. Take from that what you will, and see you next week.